Hello, my name's Jenny. Welcome to Hula Hoop Yoga. Go ahead and grab your hula hoop. Hopefully your hula hoop is about hip height or so. You want to be able to comfortably fold over your hula hoop. You want to also be able to bend the hoop a bit without it breaking. So hopefully you have a little bit sturdier of a hoop. If you know plumbing pipe, this is 100 PSI 3/4 tubing. Anyways, go ahead and pick up your hula hoop, whatever you have. If you have just a dinky one, I didn't mean to call it a dinky one, but like a plastic one that does bend, that's like from the dollar store. Still join this class. Just be a little bit more cautious with how you're using it, so that you still have a hula hoop that's somewhat circular at the end of the practice. So go ahead, grab whatever circle you got. Have your feet about hip distance or a little bit further apart. Now we're going to go ahead and drive that bus, but bringing our elbows to our hip. I guess I go a little bit slower. I'm a little excited. I'm going to bring one elbow to your hip and then the other. So once you get it, then you can drive a little bit faster. Go around those turns. And start thinking about your breathing. In through the nose, and out through the nose. Start to engage that core of yours. And maybe bring the feet in a little bit more. If you'd like to pick up your heels and bend the legs, you're more than welcome. Just turning on the arms, turning on your body, thinking about our breath, and being here right now on our yoga mats. You're gonna be like, ooh, bring my hips, doing a hip dance. And then here, so bring your hoop, bring both hands inside the hula hoop. My thumbs are facing down. We're gonna bring it over towards one side. Bring that low elbow to your hip. The other elbow goes up above the head, and then bring the hoop so that it's framing the side of your body. Stay there, and then bring it behind you, and you'll get these, what we call cactus arms. And then go the other way, bringing the other elbow now down towards your hip and the top one up at the top. And then we'll come back right to center. So let's do that again. Boop. Cactus arms. Come over to the other side. And back to the front. Thumbs are facing down. When you bring it to that one side, boop, boop, boop. And hopefully now you'll see that you can go and be a little bit more fluid with it. Your hands are not moving. They stay exactly as they are, again with the thumbs facing down in the very beginning. And maybe you start to pick up the speed. Maybe you even kind of move your torso around with it. Keeping your legs straight this time, but only moving the top body. You know that we're going to have to reverse. If you feel comfortable, close your eyes and breathe into this. Try to make the inhalations and exhalations long and as long as one another. And then we'll stop when we come back to the front and reverse which way you went. So bring the opposite elbow towards the hip, other elbow up towards the sky, and behind you, towards the other side, back to front. It might feel a little weird doing it at first, so take your time in the beginning. It's actually I'm nervous saying this because I don't know you on the other side of this screen, but in my personal opinion, it's a lot harder to go slow in this because we are making we're making a square with a circle. But then if you start picking up the speed, it feels a lot more like a cylinder or like a circle, like you're making a tornado with this hula hoop, where your legs are the bottom, of course, the funnel, and then the top is to go a little bit crazy. Think about your core, breathe into it, while also feel free to find a mini tiny back bend, opening the heart up to the sky. Closing your eyes feels pretty good here if you feel like you got your balance. Pretend as if your legs are in a big thing of sand. Take a couple more breaths doing this. And then reverse which way, just to remember how to do it so that you can take this with you if you have the hoop to play with later on. And then reverse which way again. And here, feel free, reverse which way. Feel free to find your body to spin around as well. Just taking steps. Then reverse which way, and go turn the other way. Feel as if you are in the middle of the circle the entire time. Go the opposite way. In yoga, we're always talking about finding our center, reversed. So much effort in return. Bring the front to the back, back to the front, and reverse. So even in this chaos, can you still find the center? And go back the other way. If your arms are getting tired, great. All right, and we'll be done in 3, 2, bring it around the hips and keep a subtle movement as if when you have a quarter or nickel or dime and you spin it, and then this is like it's almost gonna stop. It's almost gonna stop, and then go reverse the other way. If this wasn't weird enough for you, pretty soon we're gonna hum together. Okay, and then bring your feet now hip distance apart, a little space in between the feet. Bring your hands to the outside of the hoop, bring your shoulders down the spine, feel really planted into the earth, and close your eyes. Bring the hoop up overhead. I'm going to start with the hardest way to get into this, so don't overstretch yourself, don't go too far, unless I didn't mean to shake my finger, but we're starting with the hardest one, and then I'm going to give you a modification. So your hoop is how it was when it was behind your back with those cactus arms. But now lift it up the body, and then bring the top part of the hoop behind you, stretching your arms back, opening up the heart. And if that was too much, again, don't do it, it'll hurt. Don't hurt yourself. Just bring the hoop down to the ground instead. And then bring your hands on the inside of the hula hoop and walk them down the hoop until you find where you should be. The farther you walk your hands back, the more of a stretch that you're going to get, the closer they are towards each other here, the more subtle of an opener it'll be. And this is so dependent on what size hula hoop you have, so just work with what you got. Breathe here. You may notice by a result of bringing the shoulders back like this, your ribs kind of come out. Maybe you find a little bit too much of an arch. Can you bring your front ribs back? Can you allow that tailbone to fall down the backs of the legs? Then can you think of lifting the heart up to your nose? Did you notice your nose may have lifted as well? And imagine this space from one armpit all the way over to the other armpit. Maybe bring your shoulder blades over the hoop. You start to find a tiny back bend at the very top of your spine. And start to lift the chin up very slowly and consciously. And bring it back down to be parallel to the earth. Open the legs. And we'll sway from one side to the other, lifting up on the toes. Bring the feet together, bring the hoop down behind you. Roll it in front, place your hands on top of the hoop. Close your eyes, lift through the crown of your head, bring the shoulders down the spine, inhale through the nose. And sigh out the mouth. Inhale through the nose. And take your time exhaling out the mouth. So I promise we hum. We're going to inhale through the nose. You can listen the first time. You're going to bring the tongue to the back of your front teeth. You're going to keep your mouth just very lightly closed shut. You'll be exhaling out the nose when you're humming, but it's very lightly is your mouth closed. So inhaling through the nose. Go hum. And you can take as long as you would like humming. I'm going to say we'll do about 5 or 7, somewhere in between there, depending on how long you want to hum. And hopefully, maybe your roommates, just let them know that you're going to be humming for a while and enjoy it. So close your eyes, exhale all the breath. Inhale through the nose. Allowing the hoop to bounce on your body. Open up the palms of your hands to the front of you. And tune in. Tune in to the frequency that exists within you. And let's meet at the top of our mat. Bring the hoop into both hands. Press more so on the pinky side of your hand than the pointer finger. Again, bring the shoulders down, the back, the tailbone down as well. Inhale, lift your fingertips to the sky. Exhale, fold, bringing the hoop to the tops of your thighs, folding over. Inhale, flat back, bringing your hands to the top of the hoop, pressing into the thighs. Exhale, fold. Let's do that 4 more times. Inhale, flat back, your neck an extension of the spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, pressing down into the feet, bringing the sit bones to the sky. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. And last one, inhale, flat back. Bring the weight into the left foot and step that right foot back as far as it'll go. Maybe walk it back a little bit more. Bring that knee down to the earth. Flip this hoop up overhead. Pick up that back foot and catch that foot with the hoop. Raise that foot as high as is comfortable to you. We're coming to the very top of your knee to keep it safe. If you need to have a blanket, go ahead and grab one and meet back here. Breathing here. And we'll go ahead and release that foot. Bring this hoop to the top of your mat. We'll see it there in a moment. Pick up that back knee. Let's step this front foot back. You're welcome to come down onto your knee or take full chaturanga. Inhale, find a baby cobra. Exhale, we'll meet in downward facing dog. Take 2 breaths. Pressing the thighs back. You're welcome to have bent knees if you'd like. I know that this is our first downward facing dog. Then pick up that right foot and step it in between the hands. Bring that back knee down to the earth. Flip this hoop up and over. Pick up that back foot. Try to catch that foot. And lifting the hoop up over the crown of your head. You can use these elbows as well to help lift the hoop up, or the thumb. I'm sure you'll find a comfortable place for yourself and the hoop. Bring that foot down. Place that hoop at the top of the mat. Step back to plank pose. Take your chaturanga exhale. Inhale, baby cobra, or maybe lift to a teenager cobra. Exhale, plank, and then downward facing dog. 2 breaths here. If the big toes aren't touching, go ahead and bring them closer together and lift the left foot to the sky. Exhale, knee into the midline, step it up, and then step that back foot up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold again. We'll go ahead, pick up that hoop, bring it up to the sky. Exhale, hinge at the hip. Forward fold. Inhale, flat back. And step that left foot back as far as it'll go. Go ahead, roll this hoop to the outside of that front knee. Inhale that left hand to the sky. Extending that inner groin towards the back heel. Maybe bringing this hand up past the ear, finding more of a C shape with the body. Breathing here. Bending into that front leg. Bring that left hand down to the earth. And start to twist from the low belly, ribs, chest on up to possibly the gaze. This hand on the hoop kind of helps us find a little deeper of a twist, trying to bring those shoulders one on top of the other. You're welcome to stay here or flip that hoop up and back behind you, lifting the fingertips up towards the sky. If you went all the way, go ahead and flip it back up and over. And then bring that back knee down to the mat. We'll flip this hoop back over, catch that foot, do-do-do-do, lift up. Still drawing this front hip back and the outer back hip forward. Release that foot. Place it at the top of the mat. Step back, chaturanga. Inhale, lifting to your back bend, shoulders down the spine. Exhale, find your downward facing dog. Left foot to the sky. Step it in between the hands. Bring this hoop to the outside of that left foot. Bring that right hand to the sky. Finding your low lunge. And then let's bring that hand back possibly a little bit further, finding more of a crescent high lunge. You're welcome to find that hum throughout our practice and allow this to be a heart opening and throat chakra type of practice. Bring that hand down to the earth. Twist to the left. Shoulders down the back. Possibly bringing this hoop up and around. Trying to stack the hands one on top of the other. And if you went all the way, bring that hoop back up. Bring that knee down to the earth. Flip this hoop up and over, pick up that back foot and get a little quad stretch, lifting this hoop up over the crown of your head. Trying to stack the crown of the head, the shoulders, the sacrum, the tailbone. Bring that front body to the back body, finding your center. And release that foot. Bring that hook to the top of your mat. Set this front foot back, chaturanga. Inhale, finding your back bend. Exhale, meeting downward facing dog. Lift the right foot to the sky. Step it in between the hands and step that back foot forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, pick up the hoop, flat back. Place this hoop right there at your hip crease. Now what we're gonna do here is we're gonna bend back, bringing this hoop right there at the hip crease. It kind of will lift off the ground, most likely you'll catch it right there. And lift it up, so it's probably framing your face and your top body. And then bring that tailbone down. Bring the thighs down. Help try to create your spine to be as straight as is possible. And then from here, bring the hoop forward, so now it is framing your face. And then, see what it's like to bring the hoop up, bringing your hands up to more of a traditional chair pose. Navel to spine, lifting the fingertips up to the ceiling, pressing the hands into the hoop. What we'll do here, bring the hoop back to frame your face. Bring it out over towards the left side first. And then bring that hoop down. You're welcome to bring your hands just right there on top of the hoop, and maybe that's enough for you. Or bring this right elbow. Try your best to not let that right knee go forward, but try to keep the knees in line with one another. However, you're welcome to bring that right hip down, but keep it in line with the left hip. So go ahead, if you want to take it further, bring that elbow to the outside of that left knee, find those prayer hands. Looking over that top shoulder, really twisting here. If you want to, you can bring that left hand or that right hand down towards the mat. And find those prayer hands again. Bring all the weight into that left foot. Come on and hover that right foot and step it back. Finding this twist high lunge. Again, you're totally welcome to just keep the hands right here. Breathing. And here we're gonna have a little fun. We're gonna let go with that right hand. And then we're gonna spiral it up to the sky and come down on that back foot, finding your warrior two. So perhaps you need to walk one foot out further to find a more true warrior two. Bring this hoop behind you, walk it up the body. So this is again so dependent what size hula hoop you have. The What I'll start with is find those cactus arms. Bring that hoop solely in that back hand, and then this hoop will find a spot in the front armpit area. And then you find your warrior two this way. Some people's hula hoops are too small for that. So in that case, you would instead find those cactus arms, bring it solely into the, well, actually it would be in both hands. It'd be more like a bow and arrow. So hold on with that back hand, bend the elbow, and then try your best to straighten this hand. This is where it's really great to see people. So come to class or see me on the other side, keep your video on. I totally know how Misty feels now. All right, wherever you are, your legs are probably talking to you if you were sitting there in it. A couple more breaths though, just in case you weren't. And slowly start to straighten this front leg. You can bring that left hand onto the thigh if you like, keeping that knee safe. Think about the calf moving forward while the thigh moves back. And start to hinge at that hip and find your triangle pose. See how this hoop kind of catches those back ribs? Think about this as you lift this top hand up to the sky. It kind of catches that bottom body and helps lift the bottom torso off of the thigh a little bit. Breathing here. What can you do in your own body to be creating a little bit more stretch and release here? A little more softening throughout it. And keeping that leg straight, go ahead and bring the gaze to the left toes. And then we'll lift up, again, keeping that front leg straight. Bring both hands to those cactus arms, and then hinge at that back hip. You can stay here, or you're welcome to extend the hands over the crown of the head. Whatever is best for you. If you went all the way, you can stay here with the arms like this, or if they're here, stay there and do that. But what we're going to do is go back to that triangle, and then we'll go back and forth a couple times. So I'll start with my, like this. Let's go ahead and exhale over. And then inhale back. Exhale over. Inhale up. Bend to that front leg, finding this reverse warrior now. Bring the hoop down. Bring that left elbow in front of the hoop, and then go ahead, find extended side angle pose. Lifting the elbows, that top elbow up to the sky. Maybe you bring both hands over the crown of the head, taking that elbow off of the knee. And coming on back. Warrior two. Bring this hoop to the top of your mat. Turn on those back toes. And then, boop, walk it forward. And here's for a little fun. Go ahead and lift that right foot up towards the sky. You can bring this hoop to your hip if you'd like. You can bring it forward if you'd like a ballet bar. Find a little fun. Warrior three, lifting through that inner heel up towards the sky, pressing that standing thigh back. And slowly bending that standing leg, bringing that foot back to meet the left. Draw that hoop back to your hips, bending into your chair pose, lifting that hoop to first frame ya. Extending the hands away, lifting it up a little higher, breathing. And then bring the hoop to frame the face. Turn over to the right. Bring that hoop down. Again, you're keeping the hands just right on top of the hoop is totally fine. Whoops, I caught a peek of what I look like. I totally swiveled my hips the wrong way. So again, making sure that that left knee is pretty good, well in line with the other one. And allow the hip to come down as if, keep this hoop actually behind you for a moment. Make sure that when you twist over, you can allow that right hip to come up, that left hip to come down. All right, bring this hoop to the other side. And if you'd like, if you want to go a little bit further, if you're like, in my practice, I always do this. Go ahead and bring that left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Or maybe you're doing it for the first time, which is like, woo, hooray, awesome. And breathing here, feeling like you're getting wrung out. Bring all the way to that right foot, step the left foot back. Finding what is best for you in this pose, this twist. Drawing that front hip back while still bending into the front knee. The inner thighs drawing back. One more breath here. Let go of the left hand. Spiral it up and over. Finding your warrior two, rolling that hoop behind you, walking it up your body. Cactus arms, and then finding what's best for you. Releasing the front hand, or finding that bow and arrow, whichever. This one's my favorite, so I'm gonna go back to it. Because I also like how it catches my ribs. It's kind of like a steering wheel of like, okay, I want my ribs to be level-ish to the long side of my mat. And kind of play around with it, see what that's like. And then take a peek and make sure that your hands are in line with one another and they're at a T and your shoulders are away from the ears. A few more breaths here. And straighten that leg. Hinge at the hip. You're welcome to bring that hand to the thigh if you'd like. And then bringing that hand to the shin or the ankle. If you have blocks around, you're welcome to use that too. And then open that chest up towards the sky. Feel as if your head is in line with your toes. And keeping that leg straight, lift up and hinge at that back hip, allowing this top one to come back up to the sky. Finding those little cactus arms or extending the hoop straight. And feeling a stretch from fingertips to toes. And then you're welcome again to either have the arms outstretched or having the cactus arms. We'll exhale to triangle. Inhale up. Exhale to triangle. Inhale. And then that knee, that front knee. Bring the hoop back down and then roll out to your extended side angle. Maybe just keeping the knees right there, or the elbow at the knee. Or you're welcome to extend it over the crown of your head. And coming back to your warrior two. Bring the hoop down, bring it to the top of the mat, turn on those back toes, finding this high lunge, and then hopping it in. And lifting that foot up to a warrior three. Bringing the hoop out or keeping it at your hip, finding what's best for you. Slowly bring that foot down. Great. Which one do I want to do? Which one do I want to do? All right, well, let's go ahead and, I don't often do this one, and I did it in my class this morning. So anyways, go ahead, bring all of your weight into your left foot. Place the ball mound of your right foot on the hoop. Let it hover there for a moment. Bringing your hands, walking it down the hoop. And we're going to use it as a strap this time. So slowly extend that foot up, toes to the sky, walking your hands down the hoop as much as is good for your body. Trying to keep your shoulders over the hips, the front ribs to the back ribs. Lifting with the inseam of that lifted foot to the sky. Turn the toes out towards the right. And then hold on with solely that right hand and bring it out towards the right. Bring the other hand to your hip. And draw it in. Release and find your triangle. Whether that's, and then bring it, I like to use it for balance for a moment. So bringing the foot either to your ankle, shin, or you can help it along up the thigh. Finding your triangle pose. I'm going to draw the shoulders down the spine. Feel your neck is long. And then let's bring attention to that inner thigh of the bent knee, of that bent leg. Think of it drawing around, and then the outer thigh coming in to your hip socket. Pressing that foot into the thigh, thigh into the foot. You're welcome to lift this hoop up behind you, and then lifting your hands up to the sky. Bring this hoop down. Turn the knee to the front. Bring your left hand across and to the outer hip or to the outer thigh. You're welcome to stay here and start to twist over that right shoulder, or you can extend that foot straighter and twist from there. And slowly bend that knee, come on out. Bring that foot down to the mat. Take a moment here, close your eyes, feel your feet, feel your legs, feel your body. Now let's even out the way it feels. Or at least even it out a little bit more than right now. Bring this hoop underneath that left foot. Bring all the weight to the right foot and hover that foot for just a moment. Walking the hands where you feel is best right now. Using this hoop as a strap. And slowly, while still pressing back that right thigh, let's bring that foot up. Perhaps you only get here, and that's great. Just think of extending through the heel still. Breathing. That lifted foot is very active. The toes are coming towards your nose, extending through the heel. Inner thigh, that standing leg, coming back Turn the toes out to the left, hold on with the sole of that left hand, and then bring it out to the side. And slowly bring it in. Release the hoop, use it as balance as you find your tree pose. If you fall out, who cares? Just get back to it. You think having a hula hoop would be enough balance support? Oh, it's fun to make fun of yourself sometimes. Feel your hips are still pointing to the front. That knee is pressing back while the outer thigh, the thigh is pressing into the foot into the thigh. Knowing that both legs are totally different, both sides are totally different. But even as that standing thigh is pressing back, think about that tailbone falling down towards your heels. You're welcome to bring that hoop up overhead again. Bringing it back behind you and then lifting it up to the sky. Bringing the hoop down. Bringing that knee to face the front. Roll this hoop to the outside of that bent knee. Cross that hand over to the outside of the bent knee. You're welcome to straighten the leg and twist over towards the hoop. Keeping the shoulder heads back. Bend that knee, come back to center, and slowly bring that foot down. Let's come to the back of our mat. How much time do I have left? Okay, great. Coming to the back of our mat, holding onto the hoop with both hands. Inhale, hands to the sky. Exhale, fold. Bring the hoop to the tops of the thighs, folding over. Inhale, flat back. And walk the hands out, keeping the hoop at the tops of the thighs. If you feel like this is super uncomfortable, but you feel like maybe if you had a few more inches, it wouldn't be, pick up this hoop and bring it towards your wrists. How much so? I'm not sure. I can't see you or your hoop. But we want to utilize this hoop at the top of our hips to help encourage those thighs to draw back while we're in our downward facing dog. So wherever you are, use the hoop as a prop. Press those thighs back. Feel the more you press those hips and those thighs back. Can you think of your spine getting longer and your arms getting longer and your legs getting longer even? Pressing the heels back versus down. Feeling those biceps wrapping around and then pressing into the hands to help press the hips back. Now we're going to walk our hands back now. Bring the hoop with you. If it falls down to the ground, it's okay, just we'll meet forward fold, but this time we're going to widen our legs. About as, well, I want to say as big as your hula hoop, but just about as width-wise of your hoop. And here, let's bring our right hand to the ground. Think of the inner thighs drawing back and away from each other while the outer hips are still drawing in. Bring the left hand to the hip. And just as we were in that chair pose where we were trying our best to keep our hips in in line with one another. So keeping, you'll see here, left hand on the hips, rather than bringing that right hip forward, keep it where it is, but bring it down. So bring the right hip down, left hip comes up as you start to twist over towards the left. Bringing that left elbow up towards the sky, drawing the right shoulder back, and then maybe you want to go ahead and bring that left hand towards the sky if you'd like. So the hoop is making more connection with the right side of your body than it is the left side of the body because your left hip is a little bit higher than the right. And bring that left hand down. Your hips will automatically come back to center. And if not, encourage them to. Bring the left hand down to the mat. Bring your right hand to the right hip. And start to shift the left hip down. You'll see the hoop might move a bit. Right hip up to the sky. Lift that right hand to the sky if you'd like to take it further. And then pretend as if somebody has those right fingertips and is lifting you to the sky while you still stay grounded in that left hand. Come on back. And let's just let our head get heavy and forward fold. And bringing more weight to the heels. And then bringing weight to the big toes and all the toes. And trying to find where is the middle between the front top part of my feet and the back. Once you find it, press down into all four corners of your feet with the inside of the feet kind of lifted a little bit. When you're ready, press down, feel your legs get longer, the sit bones get higher to the sky, and then allow your head to get heavier. Bring your hands to the mat, and then bring them to your hips. Slash on top of the hoop. And with a straight back, come all the way up to stand, hands on top of the hoop. Take a moment. We'll help ourselves down onto the mat. Bringing one knee down and then the other. Let's go ahead, bring this hoop behind you. Bring it right there onto that little that knee crease back there. Having your toes, the pinky or the toenails down onto the mat. Bend this hoop a little bit so that hopefully it can get underneath the very bottom of the shoulder blade, that really the tip of the shoulder blade. Can you find it get down underneath that spot and then kind of snug it in there? And bring your hands to either side of the hoop. So you're pressing the palms of your hands into it. Press down into your feet, lift up through the heart, lift up through the crown of your head, and then keeping your hips on top of the knees, let's slowly start to curl the top of the spine over the hoop. Being really gentle with the neck, letting it slowly find its way to where it should be, just as the very top of your spine is trying to find where it should go. Just taking breaths here. And then let's find a hum. Inhaling. Slowly Coming on out. Bend the knees, bring the hoop outside. Bend the knees. Bring your hands, palms facing up, sitting back onto your heels. If this is okay for your knees. If it's not okay for your knees, you can keep that. You can keep the hoop in between your legs, and possibly that's maybe enough of a lift for you. And if not, just go ahead and just stay right on top of your knees, standing up. Then grip the hoop again. Walk it under that nice sweet spot underneath your shoulder blade. And then this time, we're not finding a camel pose. We're gonna instead allow the top part of your body and the thighs to come back and see what turns on. So it's not necessarily a back bend this time, but a kind of like a front opening as well as ab work. So go ahead, exhale the breath. Press down through the knees, down through the shins. Think about those hips drawing in, those knees drawing in as well, and then start to bring the head, the shoulders, the chest, the top ribs, the mid ribs. Can you go any further? And just stay here for a moment. Still shoulders down the back. Feeling that core engage, especially on the exhales. And come back up and find your resting pose by sitting back, possibly on the heels, or finding your modification and bringing the hands onto the thighs. And help yourself down to the mat. Get rid of the hoop for the rest of the practice. In case, make sure that you have your space free for your Shavasana that's coming up. It's coming up like now. But first, we're going to find one twist before. Lift your hips up and bring them over to the right side of your mat. Bring the feet over to the right side of the mat as well. Cross that right foot over the left knee. Bring your arms out to a T at shoulder height. And go ahead and knock that foot and knee across the body over towards the left. And turning your gaze over the right fingertips, possibly. Breathing. Coming back up. Bring the hips back into the middle. You're welcome to bring that left knee into the chest for a moment. Bringing that right foot, make it active. Finding those thread the needle with still a nice low arch in your spine. Bringing the pubic bone towards the mat. And then release. And bring your hips over to the left, the feet over to the left. Cross that left foot over the right. Hands out to a T and knock the foot and knee over towards the right. Turning your gaze over the left, making sure both shoulders are on the mat. If you haven't already, it may be nice to start closing the eyes and making the inhalation just as long as the exhalation. Coming back to middle. Bringing the hips into the middle of the mat. And finding a little thread and needle. I'm sure you know where it's is best for you in this pose, but if not, you can wrap your hands around that right thigh. You can always use that elbow, that left elbow on the mat, and kind of encourage that hip opening as well, while bringing that right knee in towards the chest. The left knee is moving away from the midline. And go ahead, bring both feet onto the earth. If there's any pose that you're yearning for, feel free to take it. And then meet in Konasana. With your feet together, the soles of your feet together, knees knocking out. Just taking a moment here before our final Shavasana corpse pose. Inhaling through the nose. And sigh out the mouth. Let's do that again. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth completely. When you think you don't have any more breath, take one more exhale out. You're welcome to stay here with the feet together for as long as you'd like. We're finding full Shavasana with one foot, one corner of the mat and the other towards the other, allowing the inner ankles to be shining up towards the ceiling. Drawing the shoulder heads down and the shoulder blades down the back. With the inside of your arms facing up towards the sky. Surveying your body. Allowing the breath to travel to every single part. Allowing the breath to travel to every toe and toenail, out to every fingertip as well. Feeling the breath oxygenate the entire body through the throat, to the tip of your nose and your ears, into every single hair on your body. Stay here for as long as you are able. Thank you so much for practicing. With each passing moment, just continue falling deeper and deeper into your Shavasana until we practice again. The light in me bows to the light in you. Thank you.